So before we start, right, so definitely I'm going to talk about something, right, so which you're going to take it today. So why are you here? Definitely I'll ask a lot of questions, so don't just look at the board, right? Can I get a hand mic, please? Hand. Any innovative thoughts? I don't have any goodies, sorry. So probably you can tap yourself if you give a good answer. Why are you here today? You may be a professional, or you may be studying in your college first year, second year. Any innovative answers? Please pass on once you're done. Can someone be here? Yeah.
Learn something new.
Learn something new. Any other? AI updates. So you have ChatGPT, you have Gemini, you have Perplexity, everything coming up, right? So I'm nowhere compared. When you compare that, I'm nowhere, because I'm also using same thing. Maybe I have some more experience before ChatGPT came into the picture. Any other good thoughts? Definitely it's a great thought, but any other? Can you please pass on the mic here?
So in the project that I'm doing, I'm using Kafka ingestion pipelines.
Okay, if you want to learn something in Kafka. Okay, great. Any other good answers? Innovative answer. Just give an innovative answer. You can say, I want to bunk class, I just came here. Or I don't want to sleep, I came here. I did not go to cricket. Yeah, hi. Nayagan.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Pudu movie, yeah. Okay. Okay. But I couldn't hear the answer which I am looking for. So I am actually looking for an answer called networking. That's the answer I was looking for. So why are you guys here today? Because one is definitely you want to learn something new. Other one is networking. You want to connect with someone who's outside of your college, isn't it? நீங்கெல்லாம் வெளியே போக போறீங்க, காலேஜ் முடிச்சுட்டு வெளியே போறீங்க, போயிட்டு என்ன பண்ண போறீங்க? டெஃபினட்டாக உங்களுக்கு வேலை பார்க்கணும். You have to learn something new. You want to connect to some professionals, right? That's the reason. What are they working on? அவங்க என்ன வேலை பார்க்குறாங்க, அவங்க எப்படி வேலை பார்க்குறாங்க, நான் நாளைக்கு அந்த பொசிஷனில் இருக்கணும்னு நினைக்க மாட்டிங்களா இல்லையா? 10 years back I was also sitting at the same place. ஸோ நானும் இதே இதில் தான் இதே தெருவில் தான் காலேஜ் போயிட்டு இருந்தேன். நான் பிஹெச்டி டெக்கில் தான் படித்தேன். ஸோ இதே மாதிரி ஆஃப்டர்நூன் செஷன்ஸ் ஐ யூஸ் டு சிட் அட் த பேக். ரிமெம்பர் ஆஃப்டர் லன்ச் எப்படி இருக்கும் செஷன் இல்லையா? தூக்கம் வராதா, கண்ணு மூடாதா இல்லையா? கொஞ்சம் இன்னோவேட்டிவாக இருக்கலாமா, ரைட்? ஸோ எல்லோரும் கொஞ்சம் எந்திரிக்கலாமா? Can we all get up, please? Raise your left hand. Left or right? Confused ஆகிட்டீங்களா? left எது? Okay, right. Now both together. Done? Okay, can you can you clap once? Once again. One more. 2 times. Okay, now can you sit down? So எல்லாரும் முடிச்சாச்சா? படம் பார்க்கலாமா? Done, right. So just a small thing. So one thing why I was stressing on networking is, whatever be the meetup, whatever you're going on, whatever session you're attending, be it within the college, outside college, make sure that you connect to the people. That is really, really important than you attending the session itself. After the session, make sure that you connect to the people, the focus, not only probably who's speaking. Probably there could be a person who's sitting next to you who's working on something really creative. Just connect with the audience as well, right? So that's one of the most important thing which I want to stress upon. Okay, so இன்னைக்கு பிஸ்னஸ்க்கு வரலாமா? So today I'm going to talk about your logs to think, real time insights with Kafka and OpenSearch. So I am Jeevitha. So basically I hold around 10 plus of experience in professional industry. So this is a quick thing intro about me. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is the agenda. So I'm not going to walk through what each and everything is. Okay, so இதை பற்றி தான் எனக்கு பேச போகிறோம். Next. Okay, stop here. So how many of you know what is Coimbatore famous for? Again, innovative answers. Innovative answers, let's give a clap for them. I did not get any goodies. So yeah, probably. Mic, please. Mic. I think you have to be very proactive. What is Coimbatore famous for? Yeah.
Motors and pumps manufacturing.
Motors and pumps manufacturing. Okay. Yeah. Colleges. Educations. Very good. Can you give a clip hand? கோயம்புத்தூர் சொன்னாவே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் என்ன சாப்பாடு ஞாபகம் வரும், அரிசியும் பருப்பு ஞாபகம் வரும். ஐ ஹேவ் புட் அரிசியும் பருப்பு. ஸோ அப்பார்ட் ஃப்ரம் தட் வாட் எல்ஸ்? கோயம்புத்தூர் ஸ்லாங். அதான் ஒன் மோர் கிளாப் ஃபார் ஹர். என்னங்க ஏனுங்க எங்கே போனீங்க வந்தீங்களா போனீங்களா, ரைட்? ஸோ த மோமெண்ட் யூ ஆர் ஃப்ரம் கோயம்புத்தூர், ஸோ பீப்புள் வில் ஆஸ்க் யூ என்னங்க என்ன ஸ்லாங்கில் வரமாட்டேங்குதுங்க இல்லையா, ரைட்? ஸோ கேன் வி கோ டு திஸ் இஸ் வாட். Why did I put this? That too after lunch. Why did I put this? Behind every dish lies a journey of flavor, tradition and passion. ஏதோ எழுதியிருக்கேன் எதுக்கு? Let's see what it is connecting to. Yeah. See, I'm just mapping this dish to what I'm going to talk about today. So the ingredients of this dish, we have plenty of dishes which Coimbatore people make, Tirunelveli people make. Why Tirunelveli is famous for alva? Why Coimbatore is famous for Arisim Paruppu Sadam? Because the ingredients, the way how they are cooking, the strategy and the taste, and after that the feedback. So you can simulate the same thing to what I'm going to talk about today. The ingredients is nothing but your data sources. Data sources means whatever could be data. Today, let's say the moment you're getting up in the morning, very first thing you will do is open your Instagram, open your WhatsApp. You are making a request, right? To Instagram, to WhatsApp, to Facebook, everything. So all these are nothing but data sources, right? Now the recipe is nothing but when you make a request, there is a log which is entered in Instagram, in WhatsApp, right? Or it could be in Facebook. That is the recipe. And the cooking process is, so when you make a request, so let's say you're deleting a message. In WhatsApp, you sent a message and you deleted a message. It's a transaction. It's an event. Whether it is logged to you or not, but WhatsApp will log it. Stating that let's say tomorrow for some reason they wanted to retrieve a data, they'll say Jeevitha sent a message at so and so time and she deleted at this message at so and so time. So that is nothing but the cooking process, that is the data pipeline. That is what is the pipeline which allows you to log into an actionable insights. Now the next thing is taste. Once you cook everything, you have put the ingredients, you know the recipe, you started the cooking process. Now you're going to taste the recipe, whether it is good. In the process of making itself, you will test, right? So do you taste after making? Some people are very confident. I am not confident. I cook probably more than 15 years plus now, but I'm not confident in cooking. As in when I cook, I make sure that okay, uppu correct ah irka, sakara correct ah irka, uppukku bala sakara potrana, okay? So all these confusions will come. So that is when, as in when you are making, right? You have to monitor and analyze. Likewise, any software, whenever it is running, you have to make sure that the software is stable as and when it is running, not once the software goes to a bad state, okay? And the final one is the consistency and feedback. So that is using alerting and optimization. So when I cook something, I'll definitely give it to the person next to me and ask, is it good? Nalla irka, right? So is it good? Do you want to add something, right? So they'll say, inni konjam koodi kothamalli potrikalam, inni konjam koodi uppu potrikalam. So for Arisim Paruppu, what is the best side dish? Anyone knows? Lemon urga, katrika poriyal, what else? Anything else? Curd, pappadam. How many of you will have with pappadam? Right? Different possibility, right? So there could be different combinations which is coming up. So that is nothing but alerting and optimization, which you are getting it as part of your review, okay? So you can keep this as an analogy in your mind. Don't tell me you have to go back to lunch after seeing this, right? Okay. So what happens? You are developing a software. What happens if you are not logging? What will happen? So how many developers here? Okay. So probably all you developers need to pick the mic now. So I need to probably get some answers. What happens when you're not logging? Your system is down. What will you do? Can you please? Probably whoever wants to pick up the mic, please go ahead. Okay, somebody.
You can't trace back the errors.
You can't trace back the errors. Okay. He was saying something. Oh, you please take this.
You what will happen in the back end. For example, even if the code is succeeding, we might have an error which is not positive since we don't have a proper logging mechanism in place.
So if you do not have a proper logging mechanism, that's when you're failing really, right? It's not only about logging while the system is up and running, but as and when it is progressing also, every single request, let's say today I'm swiping a credit card, okay? Usually I swipe a credit card probably 500 rupees, 600 rupees within India. For some reason I had to travel abroad, okay? And I'm swiping at 10,000 rupees. So there is an anomaly detected, okay? Again I'm swiping at 10,000. What do you think it will happen immediately? I'll immediately get a call from this credit card agent saying, ma'am, there is twice swipe happen. One is an international swipe. Second is the same amount is being detected twice, right? So as and when something is happening, events are happening, it is real-time monitoring which is happening, correct? So earlier when you used to probably order something in Amazon, it will come after 3 days. You won't even remember, okay, when they deliver the parcel, that is when you will remember, oh, today is the delivery. But now it is not like that. You are tracking each and every moment, right? For example, Zepto, 10 minutes. You are not even ready to wait for 10 minutes, isn't it? Tell me, right? You will order. Immediately you will check whether it is, has he come, has he arrived, has he arrived. It will show 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, right? Every real time is captured. So how it is captured? It is based on the events. Events are captured based on the logs. So basically logging, so somebody said, right, logging is essential for understanding what is happening inside your system. Go ahead. Yeah. So again, in case of troubleshooting, if something is going wrong, immediately the very first thing we will take a look at is log. Again, the third thing is monitoring our applications, the credit card example, right? What is happening? So with your credit card or probably with, if number of requests is more coming to your software, right? So monitoring is important. And audit activity, as this is again for the credit card, right? And the fourth point, analyze trends and user behavior. Assume I wrote a software and the software is mostly used by Coimbatore and probably in India. Suddenly, one day I'm hitting lot of requests, probably a lack of requests from different part of the world. It is definitely, it will not be pitched. Until now, it was only used within India, probably 100 or 200 hits per day. But suddenly if something is wrong, right, that means there is a bot which is trying to access, right? So I need to analyze the trend and the user behavior and maintain the visibility. In case of, I think in the prior session, the speaker was talking about the Kubernetes pod and clusters and all, right? So in case of microservices, it's very, very important you log every single transaction. Okay. See, if you keep logging everything, I'm saying log, log, log. If you keep logging everything, what will happen? You need so much amount of memory, CPU, everything to process the log. One is you need so much of storage. Assume you're going to store all these logs in S3 bucket in Amazon, right? What will happen? You have to pay so much, isn't it? So you have to log, but you have to log what is necessary. But intermittently, you have to log this somewhere. You have to push it, but you need not store it anywhere permanently, right? Now, microservices. So there are, the problem with traditional logging was, there are delayed issues. Only if a customer reports there is a problem we were debugging earlier. And with microservices, there are 100 and massive services which is running. You see a bus architecture over here, right? Continuously it is running. Now all the applications keep running 24/7 and so much of logs will be created. So it is impossible for you to track internally in case if there are like hundreds of applications, something is breaking, right? So on Diwali day, right? So there was a big surprise from Amazon, right? So how many of you noticed it? Could you tell me what is the surprise, please? You can shout if you can, if your voice is good. Yeah. It was a great surprise, actually.
I'm actually a infrastructure engineer. So
Oh,
I'm
great.
associated with it.
Oh, okay.
One of the main locations like US East or East one went down. Like one major service like I don't know whether it is IAM or DNS that went down. After the DNS, even after fixing, it took like 24 hours to connect for all the systems.
Okay, so one of the US East, one Virginia region went down actually. So all the services, so the DNS is here. So when you type google.com, right, internally it connects to one DNS server, right? So this service went down, and hence whatever servers using that, whatever services using that actually broke. So it was a big surprise, and all the SREs has to be on the top of this issue, right? So it is very impossible for us. So what we'll think, everything was working till Diwali, we have to go and eat our mind, what is happening, what's happening, and finally the news came from there, right? It's very, with the traditional method, it was very easy to trace what happened. Now, so this is how, with the older traditional method, right? So you can see a newspaper, any news, your SSLC marks. Do you remember your parents' SSLC marks or something, right? How they used to see the SSLC marks? It used to be in the papers very next day. Once the results are out, probably in the evening or probably in the next day. But now it is not that, right? When I passed out, it was an internet. There was no message. It was an internet actually. Now you are getting a message. You have to send a message to a number. Automatically it sends all your details, right? It is live for you, right? So that's the real-time logging. So with real-time logging, you can detect the anomaly. If somebody is overusing, somebody is using lesser, some unauthorized transaction is happening, right? So all this real-time processing, and in case of metric collection, 360-degree metric collection, what is happening behind the scene. And in case you want to do self-healing, the previous speaker was talking about auto-scaling. In case on a particular day, Diwali day, right, Amazon is giving lot of offer. So the number of hits to Amazon will be more, right, though the site has to be up. So definitely they will do auto-scaling of services at that time. So your system, there should not be one person sitting and doing that, right? So the system has to automatically take care of doing an auto-scaling or upscaling or downscaling the systems. So why did I talk about all these stories? I was talking about logs, right? So it's very difficult for you to store the logs. Where will I store the logs? You're asking me to store the logs, but I can't store it in database also because it is costly. So where can I store my intermediate logs? That is the question. That's where Kafka is coming into the picture. So Kafka is like a publish and subscribe model. So where whatever event, let's say if I am actually stepping over here. So Jeevitha stepped on one layer above. It could be one of the event at time interval t. This could be one event, one record, right? So you can send this to one of the producer, right? So it is designed with distributed messaging with high throughput. It allows you, as I mentioned, it is publish, store and subscribe. When I meant store, it is not persistent, underlining, it is not persistent. It can be stored only up till a maximum time what you have mentioned as the retention period, right? And it is used for log aggregation, real-time analytics. We'll come to what is happening behind this real-time analytics, right? So as I mentioned, it is basically about event-driven architecture. Every single event, if you are pushing something, let's say if I am taking my mobile phone from here, that is an event, okay? So your centerpiece over here is Kafka. You see that data coming from probably it could be any number of user, the data is coming from stock market, weather forecasting, and it could be your social media. But the output from Kafka, right, when I said intermediate storage, so basically you have a system, right, where you can push data from anywhere. It could be a database, even the input source could be a database also, or it could be any type of events what you want, you can push it. It's nothing but a JSON data. When I say event, it is a block of a JSON which is you are pushing it to the Kafka, and from Kafka, if I have to get a meaningful data, I can persist in my database. Let's say if I get, if I want to know how many people have attended DevFest today, right? So what I will do is I will definitely log every single people who have entered every single session, who walked out, right? Probably assume if you have an ID card, swipe in, swipe out, right? There will be an event track for every single person. But do you think I will actually track when person, like say for example, I am taking Sharanya, I don't know if there's Sharanya in the room. Sharanya entered at this particular time, Sharanya left this room at this particular time. That does not make sense. What makes sense? Sharanya entered this room at morning 8 o'clock and left at 4. So she is one of the participants. That is what I want. That is a meaningful transaction which I want to store it in my database, right? But the second one what you see is a dashboard. Dashboard could be like for example, how many people are attending this session, this talk at this particular point in time, right? So this should reflect how much of data, so basically how much time she spent. So I need to collect every single event. Now the third thing is notification. Let's say you're supposed to attend this event today. Some person is supposed to attend the college today and you're not attending, you're not present. As he said, you got a movie. Assume you got a movie ticket. He has gone to the movie. And probably from the college, they have to send a notification, a message to your parents, right? So that could also be a possible reason. So there could be different output sources from the Kafka bus itself. So I am talking about Kafka. What is Kafka? So basically Kafka is again a software kind of, it's a publish and subscribe messaging system, okay. So these are the building blocks of Kafka if you can see. So first thing is the message itself. What is a message? It is a simple JSON object. You can just type message hi, that is an event, that is a message. And who is sending the message becomes a producer. If I am sending the message, I am a producer. So generally who will be a producer? A system, a service, right? And let's say if I have to map, I have thousands of messages which is coming in. For example, today there's a parallel event going on somewhere, right? There is a cultural event. Now if at all I type event, Hindustan College, I might get those events also, right? But I am not interested in that. What I am interested in Google Dev Fest event, right? So I have to segregate. So how do I segregate? I segregate based on something called as a topic, right? So whatever events are related together, so you have to push those based on something unique called as a topic. Now within a topic, let's say I have a database, right? Assume this chair is my database, okay? And I have only one database. I am continuously pushing the data, okay? How it is different from relational database? Because relational database also you are continuously pushing data. Only thing is there you are defining your primary key, your column, what is your data, everything, right? Kafka also you are pushing the data, right? Only thing is relational database is persistent. But here it will be there, let's say for a week, that's all, intermittent storage. But how it is faster? One is it can be used, publish and subscribe, agreed. But how it is faster? It can, per second, it can handle millions of records. How is it possible? The reason behind that is called as a partition. Within this particular chair, do you see holes in this chair, right? These are called as partitions. So it splits the data and send it to different partitions. For example, when I send a message, talk to hi, all the messages probably with respect to talk to, maybe it can go to partition 0 or it can go to partition 1. So why it is required to segregate the message based on a partition is because for easy access, right? I can actually, if I have to search on a particular partition, like a hash map, however you have a hash, right? Based on a particular key you search. So something similar to that. Now we talked about, okay, we are pushing, somebody is pushing the data to Kafka, you have a message, right? Who is the consumer? So already we talked about consumers. You have email, you have dashboards, everything, right? So there will be a script or there will be a server who is consuming the data. That is called as a consumer. Next. Yeah. So this is one sample how Kafka streaming works. So your producer, you see this, right? Your data source, it could be a events, it could be a metric, or it could be a data source where your producer is producing. And the center one is your topic or your broker. Broker is nothing but your Kafka server. So Kafka consists of main thing. One is something called as a zookeeper, a Kafka node or a Kafka broker, a leader node. So in your school you will have pupil leader, right? I don't know if that is there in college. There's college leader elections, right? What happens when the leader is not there? For some reason he is not there. So who will serve as the leader? Sorry? Assistant leader. There will be assistant. So how do they choose the assistant leader? So they elect probably during the leader election itself, they will have an assistant. 1 or 2 assistants, right? So he is a supportive. Similar to that, in Kafka, let's say I had 2 Kafka machines. For like what he mentioned, on a Diwali day something happened, one machine went down. What will happen is the other machine will make sure that it serves all the incoming requests. How? whenever you put a message in a particular server, automatically the message gets synced. This is called as a replication. Okay. So all the data, whatever you see right over here, there could be one broker or there could be multiple broker. Here there are 3 replications. So whatever data you push it, it gets synced to all the other replicas also. And finally the data is available for the consumers to consume. I'm not boring with this, probably you can get this on the internet, everything itself, right? So I'll show you a real demo how it's happening. Right. So this is the journey of an event. So you see a producer is nothing but a Python code. I'll show you a code example as well. A producer is nothing but a simple Python code, whatever you write, or it could be a text message, it could be a CAT request, whatever it could be, right? It creates an event with a JSON document saying this user did a click action, okay? And producer sends this event to a topic called user click topic, okay? Now, what I talked about prior is a Kafka node. So a Kafka node is nothing but something called as a broker. So here the broker routes it to a particular partition on a leaderboard, as I mentioned. All the requests and the response will actually come from the leader broker. So leader actually assigns the offset and send it. So like in relational database, you have a primary key to uniquely identify your data, right? Like that, in Kafka, to uniquely identify every single event, it is called as an offset. It keeps increasing. As in when you push your data, it keeps increasing. Now, the follower replica is nothing but the replica node, like your assistant leader. If your leader is absent, automatically assistant leader will become the leader. Again, the consumer fetching. So whoever wants to take some instructions from the leader will actually consume from the leader node. And finally, consumer commit. I'll skip this for now and I'll show that later point. Yeah. Right. So this is a simple message. So basically I have some messages. You see that, right? So I have a server, the producer server. From the producer node, the data keeps going to within the same node. There are multiple partitions so that it is easy for querying. So you see that, right? So ID 1 goes to partition 2. So there is no particular sequence. It's a round robin by default until you specify. So ID 1 goes to partition 1, ID 3 goes to partition, and ID 2 goes to partition, ID 4 goes to partition 2, right? Within a partition, the offsets again. So if a partition 1 has offset 0, partition 2 also will have offset 0. So within a partitions, the offsets will keep incrementing. So I talked about Kafka. Why Kafka, right? So because it has high throughputs. When you compare to other publish and subscribe model, Kafka has high throughputs. It has millions of events per second. It can process millions of events per second. That is the reason why we want to use Kafka. So scalability, if you have enough nodes, basically all you need is, you need a client, you need a server, you need a leader. All these things you can easily configure in your Docker. So how many of you are using Docker over here? Docker containers, right? So you can just run probably 3 nodes, 3 containers, all your set, you can use Kafka, right? So again, so for durability, if you want to use it as a persistent storage for a week, right, you can use that. Again, fault tolerance in case of any issues, so it will automatically make sure that it elects a different leader, and it helps because it is capturing all the events, it is real-time processing. Next. Okay, now we have covered something about Kafka. So I did not teach you about Kafka. All my goal was to make you understand there is something called Kafka which you can use it for your project if at all you want. That's all, right? Now the second thing, the second piece, right? Observability. So how many of you drive here or ride here? Okay. Having said that, I've asked you this question. Now tell me, in your terms, when I ask you observability, need not be in software terms. You can tell me in any terms also. What is observability in your thought means? In software, or it could be anything. You want to say something? What do you think observability means? I think previous speaker also was talking about it, observability. Collecting some informations, collecting some log, metrics, right? Now assume if an application is running, right? If an application is running and then I'm looking it from outside, I'm saying, oh, 100 people are there today. From outside, you will collect all the metric. But you want to do something. Let's say if I'm driving a car, okay? Petrol is only 30. It can go up to 30 kilometers, okay? And I've switched on the AC. What will you do immediately? And probably the petrol bunk is probably 15 kilometers away. What will you do? Switch off the AC immediately because it will consume the petrol, right? So what are you doing there? You are observing as and when you are driving. So when you are riding your bike, right? So it says 10 kilometer, 20 kilometer, right? Are you stopping your bike and then checking? No. You are actually riding. It is showing what is happening as and when your system is running, correct? So observability should be something like that. As and when your application is running, it should capture all the metric about your application. It should not be something outside. Within your system also you should have some logs being collected, right? So it's not about just the microscope, but it's about how your application, your state of your application, right, to get the analyzed data. Now what is happening within your system, how your system is performing when you compare to your car example, and what after that what you should do, right? You can go next. Why did I talk about observability? So we covered first part where we are collecting some metric. What will I do with the metric? What will I do with the data? I have to push the data somewhere. I cannot push it to relational database also. That's why we have OpenSearch, because this is real world where we are actually pushing millions of data, and querying relational database, definitely it is going to be very difficult. So OpenSearch is kind of a search engine which is actually forked from Elasticsearch. Okay, so you can see that, right? It was actually it was started by Elasticsearch, and again so it's used for indexing and querying. So I'll come to what technology OpenSearch is using probably in the next few slides. Can you go to the next slide, please? Right, so these are the basic components of OpenSearch. So you have a dashboard and you have the core engine. The core engine is the one which is doing the work. So you have tons of data inside your core, right? So what will happen when you are searching something, what is going to happen? So your dashboard will show you the visualization, and the search contains your the search engine demo. You can skip it, yeah. One more. Okay, so this is the building block of OpenSearch. When you compare to, this is nothing but you can consider as your relational database. So however you have your database, same thing. Your document is nothing but your record. Your index is your table. Your node is one, probably you can consider as a one form of your database. Your cluster is collection of your database together, and shard is multiple clusters together. I'm rushing because I have time limit, yeah. Okay, I'll just explain this small example alone, right? So we have 3 docs here, right? So in an exam, somebody is telling you there are 3 docs which is given. ChatGPT is helpful, AI is powerful, ChatGPT and AI, right? In a normal term, what will happen is, if I ask you in how many places ChatGPT is available, what would you do? You will write a for loop. Generally, what happens, right? You will write a for loop, take these 3, probably the sentence as an input, divide it, okay, and go through each and every word if ChatGPT is present, if ChatGPT is present. So how long it will take, how many ever records you have to iterate through each and everything, right? If you do that, again it is same thing like relational database. So we don't want to do that. So that is why OpenSearch is using something called as an inverted index. What happens is, every single word in the document is mapped to where it is present inside the document. You see ChatGPT is present inside doc 1 and doc 3. AI is present inside doc 2 and doc 3. Somehow this is mapped. This is called as inverted index mapping, which is actually which is one of the basic thing in OpenSearch, right? So that's why the OpenSearch is probably enabling faster for your full text search. And Intel, it uses BMS 25, that is the best match 25 algorithm. Next. So why do you need? It is similar to Kafka. In case all Kafka does is collecting the event and then storing the data, storing the event actually. after storing the event, it has to get pushed to somewhere. So that could be, one could be OpenSearch, where we are using it for log monitoring, you are using it for your metrics, you are using it for your application analytics, you can use it for your telemetry and anomaly detections. Next. Yeah. So I'll quickly show a demo before I just leave the stage. Just give me 2 minutes. Can you see my screen? Is it visible at the back? My screen is visible at the back? Yes, thank you. So now what I am going to do is, basically I am going to run a two Python code, that's all. Probably I'll take 1 more minute, that's it. So how many cricket lovers here? Many cricket lovers. So how many of you watched last Indian women match? Okay. So I'm running a simple producer application. It's a simple Python code which uses some of the Kafka libraries. That's it. Okay. So it is going to produce some data, right? And it is going to push it to Kafka. So you see this message, right? It is sent 100 messages so far. It keeps sending. So I am actually sending it for demo purpose. I am continuously sending some messages. It's nothing but a comment. I am generating some comments and sending it. So let's see that in the Kafka UI. You see this, right? So this is the Kafka topic which I was talking about. So I am sending the messages to the India, Australia cricket store. Okay. So here you can see I have given only one partition. If you want, you can enable for multiple partition as well. So here you can see the messages. This is where you see the list of messages. So I'll just expand one single message and show you. This is one of the simple message I have put in. So basically this is the ID which gets, so this is the match. So some data, I have put in some data, right? Now this is one part. I've collected some metrics from the Kafka, right? Now what is the other thing what I'm going to do is, I'm going to push this data to OpenSearch. Yeah, done, fine. 1 minute, yeah. Right. So this is where I have pushed the data. So yeah, if you can see this, the data keeps increasing. So probably I'll just show this data, right? So this is where I have pushed all the cricket score related data from Kafka. So I've written a Python code. From Python code, I'm trying to push a message to Kafka, which you can see it over here. From Kafka, I am consuming the data and then pushing it to OpenSearch. So this could be one of your use case. Whenever you have an application which is running, you wanted to collect some log, right? You can push it to Kafka. From Kafka, you can collect the meaningful log and then push it to OpenSearch, right? So in between, if you want, you can use it, probably you can use it any log shipper or something, right? So with this, I want to leave you all with this one particular thought. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. So I also believe, when I was in my college, I believe probably one day, not today, one day, I'll be in a stage something similar when other persons were talking. So I am here today. So I wish everybody of you, right, each and every one of you over here will also be in the stage similar to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayita ma'am, for the deep technical walkthrough. Your insights on Kafka and OpenSearch make scalability and real-time observability elegant. Now, I invite Selva Vigneshanna to present a moment as token of love to Jayita ma'am.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, ma'am.